Hold up. Here we go. Here we go. Give me 1 second. I'll pull something up here. For some reason, my audio didn't kick off there. It's all good. Looks like we got a hot one here. I don't know. Might be over. Heads up.
Bring us up to date, Desmond.
Boom.
Well, yeah, Juan, just check out these speeds as we are flying all over the place here through the
Good
Westlake
evening,
District
Chi.
and making our way towards Koreatown. Obviously, a very busy place
What's
at
up, DJ?
all times
David?
of the day.
What's going on, y'all? We got a hot one here. It's
going
Thursday
every
night, 10
possible
o'clock
direction
here, West
around the
Coast.
outskirts of downtown, and did a loop through downtown. And despite
Yeah,
that, the
Dodge
helicopter is able
Charger.
to keep tabs on them, and that is with no CHP from the ground.
And it doesn't seem
So
to be
what is
going
the
too
suspect
fast at the
looking
moment.
for right now?
Just got
There's no one
notifications
behind them
of
right now.
this
They
about
seem
what.
to have a pretty good,
And
pretty
the
wide berth
stringers
from the
are out
authorities on the
tonight.
ground. You would
AXN
think
is
that, and they've been going
rocking
through these
LA
neighborhoods that
at the moment. He just started.
pretty close maneuver right
Yeah.
there.
And then
Going over to
several
the
others
other side of the
throughout
road to narrow miss there.
California.
So
Got a couple in
just
Bakersfield
into the
and
vehicle. I mean, we don't want to see
Sacramento.
anyone get away, but at the same time, it's just getting
Let's see,
increasingly
stopping
dangerous
there.
for civilians
All
and
right,
innocent
Koreatown,
people in
South
this
Vermont
area.
Avenue,
So I just don't know what the
and
end game
San
is here
Marino
for the
Street.
suspect. When a lot of times when
K-Town,
they have this kind
we
of
call it.
range from units on the ground, that you think that that would be their opportunity to try to get away instead of just continuing to.
And there's Gerald. What's up, Gerald? Gerald, are you getting chopper footage of this at the moment?
Now, Desmond, no units behind this driver, but we see that spotlight.
Footage.
Who's that spotlight coming from?
Welcome on
That
in,
is the
Gerald.
LA County Sheriff's deputy's helicopter overhead. So even though this has been CHP's pursuit, and not even sure if it's
There's
anybody's
another one,
right now, but
Smoking Scan is on now.
yes,
He just jumped on about a minute ago.
Going through the shot right on cue, but wrong side of the
Thank
road.
goodness
again,
I was able to beat him to it.
Blacked out, and at least having the taillights out.
Or else it
wouldn't
wouldn't count for me.
On, so people should be able to see the opposing traffic coming
Smoking
towards them. And now
Scan
we're barreling
beats,
back towards downtown LA. James M. Woods. It's
beats
almost like the
everyone
suspect kind of
to the
almost
chase.
just daring CHP to
And I let him do
come and
his
get
thing.
him.
Last time we
And
streamed
probably
actually
going
his
back for
channel.
another pass through downtown, and I've got to
give
imagine
you
it's
all
just
an
driving
idea of who
the
he is when
the
you
pilot and
hear
the
us
tactical flight
mention
officer
Smoking Scan.
crazy up there
And
right
yeah,
now
go ahead
because they're
and
doing
feel
everything
free
they
to check
can
his channel out.
try to
It's
keep
much
tabs
more
on this guy,
exciting
but
over
there's,
there.
no one on the ground that seems to
420
have any
friendly.
serious interest in stopping this
His
person.
cat
So
is the
I just
main
have
part
to
of the
see how
show.
long this can continue
Great
before he gets on the
commentary.
runs, or worse if he crashes just with all the crazy lunatic driving.
Boom,
Yeah,
there we
I mean,
go.
some narrow misses
Gerald
with other
dropping some
drivers,
links
especially
there.
being blacked out. Speeds, as we mentioned, at some points 130 miles per hour. Speed was that original one,
Let's see.
which is why we understand officers initially
For me to
tried
click
pull
that, I
over.
got to jump on
and
over.
driving in downtown
We'll see
LA
if the phone
is hard
lets me
enough
onto
on a
the stream
normal
here.
day. Any
a lot of
given
one-way
day,
streets.
And yeah, start dropping
one-way,
them links.
narrow, lots of traffic. I know at this hour as we head into the 10 o'clock news here on KCAL, not as
And
many
looks like
drivers
he's
out there,
got
but look at this.
his
Flying
lights
through those
off, right?
intersections, Des. And they were calling for a spike strip at one point on Alameda. Oof.
Whoa.
Swerving around this traffic. Yeah, very, very dangerous. And it's just
Pico Union.
and no signs of even
Olympic Boulevard,
stopping at
y'all.
this point, or it's
Y'all
just
know
kind of
Olympic.
playing
Our
with.
shop's
It
on
looks
Olympic,
like,
so
kind of playing around with the helicopter, knowing that it's above him, and
he's more on the west side
turning
there.
on and off the lights.
And so far, we haven't seen him
It's the
pop out here
110
from the freeway overpass here. He's underneath that bridge. Has he turned left, right?
I don't see him coming out on the other side of the bridge there. That's a tactic they do.
Is that him right there?
Look at that.
that was
what?
like a Mission
He's gone.
Move right there.
Ghost riding
So
the car.
They got out onto the freeway, left
They
the car
are
and
gone,
driving,
y'all.
so it's just coasting along.
Look at that.
Wow.
And
Ghost
you've got,
riding.
Yeah, a little kind of ghost riding right there. So they are out. And, look, we didn't have any ground units there. Not even sure if we have a suspect description. Not
Is
sure
it that
if
guy?
that's anyone or if that's just someone that this guy is pointing right there.
Just like that. Candy
but
Wolf, welcome
the
on
car is
in.
still coasting along right here. So
We
now
got
we've got
a ghost
two
in the
problems.
Charger
We've got
there, y'all.
a vehicle that's driving itself, just coasting along, and we've got a suspect that is out here, and there's no one following, and we're not even sure what this person looks like. There's no ground units. You've just got one person that is there on the sidewalk.
And it looks like
it's anyone's
the
guess if
passenger
that's the
side is
suspect or
open,
just
so I'm
someone
sure
walking
it
around.
wasn't the driver
And
that went out
so
the passenger
we have
side. So it's
the airship
probably
that's
more
trying to
than
guide
one
units in. They
suspect
were
there.
talking about getting
as it
CHP
comes
re-engaged
along
in
to
this.
the
But
opposite
how
side
crazy does this look? If you're out here driving on Olympic
of
and
the
here's this
street
vehicle
there,
with the door
Olympic
open and it's just
Boulevard
kind of crawling towards you, I mean,
and
at
Georgia
least it's at
Street.
extremely slow
Yeah, it's a
speed.
good thing
here.
that it is slow right now.
Someone running across the street right here. Who
It
is?
wouldn't surprise
Well,
me.
I'm not
Looks
sure.
like a
That
worker.
might just be
Wouldn't
someone
surprise
walking
me if
across that.
someone were to jump in that
You know, look at now.
that
You've got
Charger
people
and
that are
take
coming
off
out of
again
LA
with
Live
it.
right now. This vehicle is going to end up kind of bumping into the curb right here, maybe into this pole. Let's see what happens. So hopefully it's going to stop the vehicle and
Hit the curb.
Well, no, there we go.
Okay,
All right.
thank goodness.
So at least the danger to
Oh.
the public is over. But this guy's out there, and there's
Little
no suspect
bump to the
description.
stop there,
I mean,
right
it
at
kind of
the
makes you wonder
corner.
if this was a stolen vehicle. We hadn't heard that, but you know, this is not
Dodge
a cheap
Charger,
car.
anyone?
And you're going to just
Anyone
bail
missing a
from
Dodge
this
Charger?
and leave it like this over speeding.
Anyone would like a
You know, we don't know for
Dodge
sure, but it's
Charger?
definitely worth wondering
There's
that.
one
Just
available
gonna
on
widen out and see
Olympic
if we
there.
can see the spotlight there.
What
from
up, Diesel? Yeah,
Sheriff. So
Ninja
finally we have
style.
a
I see
ground
they
unit.
just
And
ghosted,
they're still
bro.
just kind of looking on both sides of the
Ghost ninjas.
overpass right there. For
Well, some of the
101
pedestrians,
at
Des, were starting to
Olympic.
run
Could be the
over
Kia
and check
boys.
to see if someone was okay, and then it looks like they
There
got a
goes
little
Pope.
nervous
There
and
goes
backed up once they heard the
Chips
sirens.
pulling up.
More officers showing up here
Yeah,
on
I
scene,
mean, it's kind
Desmond.
of like a. Yeah, so here we go. They're going to come and just
Uh-oh.
examine the car, make sure that
Just
it's
make
empty.
sure.
It almost certainly is.
Yeah, you never know. It
And,
could be
coming out
something
of
or
the
someone in
passenger
there
side
still.
as well. So let's just double in as they're going to clear the vehicle here. But and you know, of course, we've got the pursuit tent, right? The super dark windows. I never heard a suspect description or how many people were in the vehicle, and you know, doing it there under
We
that
had a
overpass.
Dodge situation.
that's
It was a slow
Fairly
speed
unorthodox. I mean, we heard when it was
Dodge.
going into
I think it was
downtown,
a
I just assumed they
Charger
go to a
also,
parking
right?
structure or try to
There
lose
was
the helicopter. But
few,
they ended up pulling a
few
fast one where
few
they
nights
left the
back,
car and drive.
the
Just
Pasadena
jumped
area.
out the passenger seat and we were right by LA Live as well. I mean, obviously, so many places to hide. Just jump into a restaurant or a bar or the movie theater there. It's going to pop the
Dodges are
trunk
coming in
make
hot.
sure there's
We've
nothing
also talked about
nefarious going on with
CHP,
that. And at
California
least the
Highway
vehicle
Patrol,
will be
getting
clear, but where the
100
suspect got away to,
new.
that's anyone's guess.
And I don't know if they're
Obviously something else going on behind
like
the surface
new to the
because
year,
you're not doing all
just
this
new
just
to
over a
the-
speeding
to the
ticket.
force.
Right?
And Desmond, this is a new technique. I can't remember the last time somebody took the
Dodge
advantage of a
Durangos.
freeway overpass to basically
El
ditch a
Durango.
car, take off
Keep it
running,
and
and then the
drive.
car keeps going forward. You don't know what's going on. It's confusing. It's scary. It's dangerous.
Yeah, we had a
and he may
blue
have gotten away.
Durango back in the day.
Yeah, I
Forget what
think
year it
so.
was, but
They're kind of having
super
trouble
cool
just keeping
vehicle.
or trying to pop the trunk
I
on
like
this
Dodges.
Dodge Charger. Looks like they can't find the trunk release on this one, and you can see they still have their guns drawn, but it's usually just right there in the footwell, or there's like a little button that indicates it. Did they find it? No, that was the
Dodge
gas
goat.
tank release. I
And if
guess.
it's a
So,
stolen car,
still having
Desmond,
some
a key
trouble.
fob maybe wouldn't be inside the car, right?
Yeah, we
I
pay,
wonder if
pay
they'll
attention
set
to
that
that,
is
to
very
the
possible.
logos
Yeah,
on
yeah.
certain vehicles. Dodge got the,
All right,
Yeah,
we'll
as
keep
well,
an eye
so-
out.
is it the Baphomet goat?
Yeah, Des, keep
the
your
goat.
eye
Yeah,
on
go
this.
ahead,
We're going to
Jeff.
break away to some other breaking news tonight. And of course,
Saturn.
we'll let you know if they are able to track down the people, the suspects they were initially after inside of that
That's
Dodge
right.
Charger.
All right, Desmond, thank you.
All
More
right.
breaking news right now.
We got more breaking news. What's going on here? Let's see what they pop on. Are we breaking to new news here? What's going on? Anyway, caught that live, little one. Maybe it'll spring up a few others for tonight. I seen interesting interview tonight. I might as well get into things while we're on here live already, right? I was kind of getting ready, had a little sesh going, and I got that notification. I said, let's do it. Was ready to rock, and we were able to pull that one off. Yeah, thank you for joining, everyone. Anyone check out earlier? So we're going to shift gears now and just briefly get into some Bigfoot news. There is a new report added to the mapping project, so we'll read that off. Haven't read it yet, but I noticed a new little dot on the website. So we'll check that out here in a minute. But let's see if we could pull it up. let's go to. There was an interview with M.K. Davis earlier this evening. I know Gerald caught that. I caught Gerald over there. Had a Gerald sighting. And I don't know if you stuck around. It was pretty long. They went, I think, maybe 3 hours or so, maybe more. And it's always interesting. We're talking Bigfoot now. Yes, we switched gears to Bigfoot. Why not? And yeah, it was a good one. Squatch and Holler YouTube channel has been getting some pretty good interviews with a few people. He last had, I think one of his last ones that stood out to me was Daniel Perez, and we've been showing his website, Bigfoot Times, and Perez has a new book out touching on the whole Patterson subject, Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot film, and the whole subject. And yeah, I can't wait to dive into that book there. I recommend it. What was it called? I forgot. We've showed it here a few times already. I should remember it by now. But they had M.K. Davis on tonight, Squatch and Holler. So yeah, salute to him for putting on some good interviews. He's doing his thing over there. And let's see if we could find Squatch and Holler's channel so you all could see who we are talking about here. So give me 1 second. There we are. I'm all looking for the search bar. I can't see it. It's right up there, boy. Let's see if it pops up for us. Oh. So this is the channel here. Can y'all see that? What's up, Blazer? Blazer was there too, right? Weren't you there, Blazer? I wasn't able to click those links. Do we got another chase going on here? No. Smoking Scan's got a nice ground view of the Charger now. Keeping my eye out just in case something else pops off here. Thursday night. Good evening, Laura. Los Angeles, California. And so, yeah, here's the interview here on the right. Boom. There's MK. And no comprende. Anyway, good interview. Check it out. And I know MK is very controversial when it comes to Bigfoot. And, you know, I always tip my hat off to him for his work on the Patterson film, for stabilizing that. But he's had a lot of experiences. He mentioned tonight that he's been over to Bluff Creek 20 times. You know, he's from another state. I think he's from Mississippi. Is it? And he's done a lot of work on different videos. And he's captured stuff himself, has had his own experiences in the Bluff Creek area and other places. And so tonight, I respect his work, you know, but a lot of people, you know, it's like, just like the film, people who get involved with the film, it becomes a thing. Like, you know, people talk and say things and this and that and back and forth, and it gets crazy, it gets hairy. And so anyway, I definitely respect MK and what he does, and it's always cool to hear him talk. I like to listen to folks that have been involved, like Daniel Perez, with the whole subject and stuff, and hear what they got to say. And but yeah, anyway, tonight, let's see if I could remember. I should have wrote down the points that stood out to me, but we'll go off the top of the the dome piece and see what we could remember that I found a little bit surprising, new. Some of it may not be new to you. Some of it was somewhat new to me. Like, you guys ever check out the little fetus he found in the Bluff Creek area, if I'm not mistaken? Very trippy. And I don't know, is it a real fetus? I have no idea, but the stuff looks weird. And MK Davis does have a channel. His channel is Greenway. He couldn't remember his channel, even in much respect. I totally get it. And he was talking about his files too. They seemed all organized and everything. And he also mentioned that, like, there's some stuff that he can't find sometimes too. So it's cool to hear that from people that I look up to. I look up to him as far as like what he does and everything. And again, I don't take sides. I'm learning to let everyone do their thing, right? Yeah, the fetus video, very trippy. There's another one he was showing recently with the hand coming out of like the trees, like at ground level. I don't know. Look weird. Is it a Bigfoot hand? I don't know. A lot of I don't knows in this. Also, yeah, appreciate that, Blazer. We appreciate you, Blazer, and your sense of humor. Even though, we can't always be funny. And yeah, so we enjoy when you are, man. Love your jokes. Keep them coming, bro. Keep on cracking them. And there's Jeff. What's up, Jeff? Brother Jeff in the house. We got Dragonfly as well. Who else stepped in here? Yeah. Juliana McGill. Perfect. Talking Patty tonight. And just a little catch up, Squatch and Holler here. Had MK Davis on. And I know some of you have seen MK Davis live and direct. Yeah, that must be cool. I'd love to see one of his presentations. Live and direct. And so, yeah, there's a lot of nuggets that I guess he puts out. And usually I would expect that from people in their presentations that, if you're used to seeing them online and things like that, maybe seeing them in person, that you would get a little more insight into what they're doing, who they are, and all that, since they're in person, right? But yeah, I wasn't familiar with some of the other stuff that I was presented tonight on Squatch and Holler's interview here. Again, it was almost 3 hours, folks. So you get a good dose of MK if you need it, you'd like it. And they go in hard. The massacre theory came up, or he believes that it happened, and so there's a lot of questions with that as well. So for me, it would be like, all right, so then, all right, Bob was Roger was recording, and then Bob was doing his thing, holding a rifle or something like that. Was it? How does it go? And then, so who would have, if that, and then the massacre, that mean it'd be more than one. And then they showed the supposed blood puddle footage. And again, I don't doubt. I believe things like that could happen. And especially up that way. The past few nights we did a few live streams talking about the crime in the area and in the Emerald Triangle. And yeah, it is a thing. Whoops. Was music playing for y'all the whole time? Jeez. I hope not. Oh, and that's why our intro didn't play music, because I had the volume down on the iPad there. Come on, DJ. Anyway, but it's all good. We didn't need music on the intro. I did drop my intro as usual, but we're kind of breaking news there, so it's all good. But I see what happened there. And Juliana says, "Yo, Dwarf Man crew." Throwing up the elbow cough. I unfortunately have to put you in my pocket and listen. Still, oh, okay. No problem. She's thugging it out. Farm life. We get it. And speaking of farm life, congratulations to Midwest Night Watchers, Gerald and Chi. They got new baby chicks. Yeah. Up in the farm. So they be farm thugging too. That's a new word for you, Gerald and Chi. Jane and Gerald. Farm thugging. y'all could definitely do it out there in Illinois. We hear how y'all get down. Chi-town. Chilaga. Chicago. Chirac. Where you at? And so, yeah, another thing, going back to the MK interview, what else popped out? They mentioned the bulge in the leg, which, yeah, I could see that. They mentioned the braid or possibly a dreadlock and some of the hair. They got into the glutes, the movement of the glutes, which Roger that. Big old peach. Also, they got into what else? What she was holding in her left hand. And it does look like she was holding something there. But then they came to a particular clip, and I'd seen that clip, but I had no idea that that's what he was seeing. And it was basically of the rear end of Patty, and I guess she's bent over, and you could guess why. But at this point, yeah, they were saying it was a hemorrhoid or something like that, hemorrhoids. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see how they were showing, and okay, you could take me there. Okay, it's the rear end. And believe me, it was like, it's old footage, it's from the 60s, and it's zoomed in, and yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. And if so, is that is that what it really is? I don't know. And supposedly that footage, I forget who he mentioned, it got sent to a doctor, and that's what the doctor had, I think, mentioned. So pretty wild, and they get into it. Again, you could check this out in the interview here. And yes, save it. I'll save that. She dropping a link there for us. Juliana got good links, let me tell you. Sweet. Thank you, Chi. Did someone do something out there? Let's see. How do we activate this? Whoa, how about that? Those are legal fireworks, folks. Legal fireworks. They just check out the news. Southern California. They just did like, what was it, 100,000 pound? No, more than that. Something ridiculous. A lot of pounds of fireworks they just took off. And we got the holiday coming up, and the booms are nonstop out here. Let me tell you, ridiculous. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, it's not, just because fire danger. And even last night there was a super loud one, and there's the elderly folk that live around here and all over the place, right? So there's no regard for them. And then what about like vets or people with you know, who knows, maybe PTSD and stuff like that. That, yeah, these loud bangs just kind of sneak up on you. And even up north, in Humboldt County, we were known for the loud booms and random weird booms. And I know there was dudes like on certain hills that were exploding like crazy stuff, like explosives and stuff. And that's what's popping off out here too. Some of this stuff sounds like not your normal fireworks. Yeah, so I don't know what happened there, but thank you, Chief, for covering that. Maybe someone did something there. We'll have to find out. Y ahí está Gustavo. Bienvenidos, Gustavo. Our friend Gustavo's here from Argentina. Yeah, where y'all from? Where you from? Rep your woods or rep your hood and up in the chat. Or up in the comments later. Let us know where you're at. Or maybe you'd like to stay low key. Last night, speaking of where you're at or where it's at, remembers that Beck track. We were in a chat last night. Whose chat was it? It was but anyway, someone from Humboldt was up in there. 707 Humboldt on YouTube. We got to talking about the county and mentioned that we did some streams recently. Focusing on the county. He's like, oh, cool, man. And he's out in Shelter Cove area, which is a super cool fishing town. And been there several times. Had a lot of fun in Shelter Cove, the Cove. And that's actually where the Lost Coast Trail begins. If you're ever going to do the Lost Coast Trail, we've talked about several cases, strange missing person cases that have happened out of there. And even some friends of ours from the area who had gone were reported missing, but then found from the Lost Coast. Yeah. Check out some of those live streams. I'm telling you, been, chopping it up. And then, yeah, so I don't know. Did anyone catch that earlier tonight about the hemorrhoids? Blazer, did you catch that? I'd like to hear other people's opinions. A lot of time what happens too is that we don't like to press people when they're on live. People, and then some people do. Some people will press and maybe press a little too much and get yourself kicked out of the chat and stuff like that. But yeah, we should be able to ask questions and all that. And I've talked about it before. A lot of times people will sometimes get offended and feel like you're pressing them too much. And I think, yeah, we should be, especially if you're on a live and on social media. But yeah, no, people were asking good questions. A lot of stuff was being answered. A lot of stuff was being shown, which I love. He has videos and pictures and all that to go with what he's saying. So, hey, can't knock that. Where's my knocker? I got to get used to. Here we go. There it is. Boom. Matt's Tube of You. What up? What's going on, Matt's? Welcome on in. Talking Bigfoot tonight. We usually do. We try to squeeze a little Bigfoot in here and there. No, you missed the speed chase, bro. Well, it wasn't really that much of a speed chase. It wasn't a high speed chase. Maybe at points it might have been kind of caught the tail end of it, but they got Ghost. Yeah, check that out. Anyone just stepping in, you might want to rewind after this. Want to see some of the madness going out and on in the city here. And so, yeah, the hemorrhoids, I was like, whoa, that's far out. So I'd like to hear some feedback. And I know I usually don't get too much feedback after these streams, but it's all good. I know how you be YouTube. And then what else? What else was a good one? Oh, the mucus. So he also mentioned that he had gotten sick one time. I don't know if I'm sure this is all happening throughout the years that he had been going up into the area. And actually had gotten an invite because a friend of mine is good friends with MK. Chris. Yeah. Discovery Sasquatch. Yeah, what up, Chris? And hopefully, man, I gotta talk to you. We're talking about some gear a little while back. But anyway, he's friends with MK, and I don't know, we were there were some questions that were relayed to me. And I don't know, some things were gonna happen and who knows, but yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to meet the man. Meet both of them. I've never met Chris in person, but we've been in touch through texts and stuff like that throughout the years. And so, yeah, you know, I know people that know him. And yeah, it's interesting how MK got the footage as well, how all that came about. A lot of interesting questions there. And so, yeah, so if there was also, I think if there was, you know, a massacre, so like, yeah, who was pulling, you know, who was doing the, yeah. Um, Also, I think he mentioned that neither Roger or Bob did. So I'm wondering who did. And then also there was a lot of questions of, he also mentioned because everyone was under the impression that it happened in October 67. And he was saying something about the sun, the way the sun was hitting, that he doesn't believe it was October and seemed more like a summer, which, yeah, it could be very true. So a question of the date comes up. So that was kind of new to me also. And maybe a lot of you were already familiar with a lot of this stuff. I don't know. But yeah, far out stuff. You've heard some other pretty cool stories, like a giant rabbit that seems to be pretty interesting and more than one story. Juliana sharing some comments here. Thank you. And Candy Wolf, thank G. Indeed, he was. Gustavo, are you keeping up? ¿Estás entendiendo, Gustavo? Si no, te lo translate it for you. No problem. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. No. And, you know, thank you, MK, for sharing your stuff, man. It's cool to hear. I like to hear stuff, especially out of the Bluff Creek area. I know a lot of people have had experiences. He shared some good timestamps as well as some like humanoid looking subjects. Very possible Bigfoots, I think. Blob squatchy, you know, people would call it. And it's very similar to the stuff that I shared from that area this time around that we went. And I used that little clip in my intro. And it was just hiding within the trees there, you know, this black figure. And when we scrubbed the video, shared the video with Garrel, you know, I sent stuff to Garrel to get his approval. Because we all know Garrel's a very sane and stable individual. And so it's good to get his opinion. Yeah. What else had popped up? The mucus. Did we talk about the mucus? Yeah. He was saying that he had gotten sick on one of the times too, when I don't know if he accidentally handled this substance that he believed was mucus. and there wasn't any testing of DNA of that stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking, well, how could you, if it's, and it did kind of look mucusy, ugh. But it could be something else too, no? Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, he got sick after that pretty bad too. That's a bummer. And especially having to travel back to where he lives. Yeah, and anyone else peep the interview? Maybe you got some other questions, maybe something I'm forgetting here. There's Chris Jarvis. Yeah, popping up out of nowhere. What's up, brother? Where you been at? Brown, do I ever go back to that place you used to live where you always caught the, yeah, bro. Well, we've been going back here in the live streams, and I love to bring that up. And thank you, Chris Jarvis. Remember those days, brother? That was Southern Humboldt County. Yeah, little same, pretty much same county where Patty was filmed. To the south of it, lived there many years, and we've been going in on that. Just to refresh those new friends and subscribers, followers, and people listening. Maybe the new people as well have no idea what we're talking about. And yeah, so I used to do a lot of live streams just from our deck right there, and we were off grid. But some say that's not off grid if you're online. Believe me, it was off grid, bro. But yeah, we had access to online, and I was able to do a lot of these live streams, and it was almost nightly with these when these orbs would pop up, and there was other activity going on. You know, sometimes we'd hear trees falling in the woods, tree breaks. I've heard wood knocks there. And that's where I had my first sighting as well. So a lot of stuff, but yeah, definitely there's something with the orbs. The orbs. And you know, there's a lot of talk about the orbs and what they could be. And even in historical accounts, there's talks of these lights, strange lights, you know, people call them different things. But yeah, I think it could be a basis of paranormal phenomenon. So yeah, if you're getting orbs, you're probably going to be getting some other type of activity as well. Could be Bigfoot. You know, I've heard people mention it with dogmen and werewolves and stuff, or just dogmen. I don't know which one of the two is it. Where my dog's at? They could answer that. But yeah, and other stuff. Of course, I think the orbs are UFOs. I would call them UFOs. They're unidentified flying objects to me. But yeah, and then there's which brings me to the little clip, also the flash clip. And I think I might have missed that part. I was at the shop listening, so you know, working. Wanted to go live at the shop. Oh, did we go live at the shop? Not tonight. Not today. Yeah. They talked about the flash clip also that's in the Patterson film that MK has pointed out. Some people have mentioned it as an orb as well. And another thing that, you know, they didn't talk about it tonight, but he did show some structures from another area. So MK's a structure dude. Super cool. I'm a structure guy. I like structures. Stick structures or stick formation, stick art. What do you want to call it? I don't want to offend you. Diesel still in here? Diesel's the guy to check out. If you don't know what we mean by stick structures and stuff, check out my boy Diesel in your house. Diesel in New Jersey. Diesel in New York. Diesel in Cali. Diesel in Alabama. Diesel in Canada. Yeah, Diesel B. The dude to check out. Is Diesel still in here? I think Diesel might have ghosted with the charger. I see you, D. Yeah. There he is. And there's Dan. What's up, Dan? It's good to see you up in here, bro. Usually I see you other places. It's been a while. How's it across the pond, mate? Things are wild as ever over here. Thanks for tapping in. What's very dangerous? Let's see. So yeah, the flash of light. Anyone ever seen that in the Patterson footage? There's a lot of anomalies, possible anomalies. Some believe it, some don't. Some think there's possible babies and other Bigfoots in it. Very possible. So yeah, just a few questions I thought I'd bring up after that great interview there. And what else I do have some news. We've been following a lot of the plane and helicopter incidences happening in the country and even outside of the country. Seems like a whole lot going on. And we'll get into that in a little bit, but let's check out the report recently submitted. I think it was submitted probably earlier today, because we've been checking out the site ritualistically. And that's the Bigfoot mapping project. And I just seen, at the shop, I'll keep videos just playing on their own. So, random stuff pops on that I watch, channels that I follow. And some STM stuff was playing, and I seen that Alex was actually, this was probably like several years ago. They were promoting the site here, the mapping project. I was like, duh, dude. Thankfully, Eric from the Bigfoot Museum up in Willow Creek had brought it to my attention. It was like, dude, check this out. So I'm sure I seen it, but just it didn't register. And finally, here we are using it. But and I guess the guy who runs the website here is Scott. I didn't get the last name, but yeah, thank you, Scott. And there we have another little dot added right in the Ontario area. So another Canadian report here. And yeah, I didn't read it. Let's read it together. And a heads up, you never know what may be submitted. Like Bigfoot's twerking in Florida. Yeah, y'all missed that night. And let's see here. Is this the one? All right, this is 5/22/2025, 4:03 p.m. And I'm gonna make sure, let's see. We didn't read this one. All right, I don't think so. So here it goes. While watching this latest YouTube vid on Bigfoot posted an hour ago, I opened the area up in Google Earth Street View out in the middle of nowhere on a desolate road. I see this on top of a cliff on the side of the road in the same general area. It says video in question, segment 1 minute into the video, and there's a link there to a video, and I don't think it's clickable, so you'll have to manually punch that into the search, I would imagine. So this report's having us do a little work there, and it's a screenshot in the same area from Street View. You can see the coordinates in screenshot. So is this like let's see here. It's giving us a link to a YouTube video. And then it says close up, and then there's a link there, and then no reply back needed, no other info, just saw it in Street View. Read it in the past that they like to stack rocks. Saw this, thought I'd share. So I don't know, maybe it's a rock stack or something. What's going on here? I guess someone will have to find out. So that's the latest report submitted to the Bigfoot Mapping Project. And we did read this one right under it on the last stream. Oh no, look at that. It's the same report. And that's happened several times. So a heads up there. It looks like the links and all that. So we've had that happen. But there was let's see. I guess it must have been down here. This one, Toronto. But there was another one up here that we read the other night. Anyway, hopefully we find out what that's all about. And yeah, next is another report that we have recently read off from the BFRO. And I see it's making the rounds online. Like there's quite a few websites, and obviously the BFRO have been sharing this report. It was submitted to them. We'll have a quick little look here. So it's in the recently submitted reports. You could see there, May 2025, Michigan, Monroe County. It's a Class A report. We won't be reading that, but I'm just pointing out, I'm pretty sure that's the report that's on fire online right now. It's all over the place. There's a father and son. And so, yeah, a little heads up with that. Let's see here. I think I had pulled up. I had got it through Yahoo News. I seen it on several other sites. Like I said, I was just like, oh man, this report's getting a lot of traction. And I was like, hold on. I think we read this report the other night. So yeah, we did do that. And here it is on. Let's see. Lansing State Journal and father-son duo report Bigfoot sighting, where they say they saw the creature in Michigan. We've been hearing a lot about Michigan. Of course, BMR, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, is up there. And is Brent Thomas up that way too, if I'm not mistaken? Who else do we know from Michigan? And yeah, here you go. Monroe County. Looks like there's some Bigfoot pictures there. See Moneymaker's name. What up, Matt? And here's several questions. Do many people report Bigfoot in Michigan? And here's a list of counties, comparisons to other states. Let's see. The top 5 counties with the most sightings include Delta County with 11, Escoda County 10, Marquette County 9, Ogemaw County 8, and Schoolcraft. That's a cool name to a county. Schoolcraft County, homie. With 8 reports. And you know, Michigan is also known for the dog man. And what else? What else is up in Michigan? What else they got? All types of stuff, weird stuff, some really dark stuff that I won't touch tonight. But yeah, here's a little Bigfoot news for y'all. That's what's popping. And what's next? I don't know. Yeah, what else happened in Bigfoot world? Let me see. I'm thinking. Something's got to pop up. We were on a good one there. We talked MK. We talked recent report. Anyway, so yeah, I was talking about some news earlier. We've been keeping an eye out on planes. Yeah, we're into sky watching here as well. So we're into Bigfoot, and we're into looking for strange things in the skies. And yeah, we got something yesterday. So I do a different method. A lot of you may be familiar with the CE5 method of like manifesting or making contact with strange objects in the skies, UAPs, UFOs, call them what you want. What up, Sparky? Spark it up. And he's headed for bed. Rest up, Sparky. Get that good sleep, bro. And so yeah, I do the 420 method. That's what I call it. Don't need to pay Dr. Greer anything. Maybe a little attention. You might like a little bit of that. But yeah, no, much respect to Dr. Greer. I'm still trying to find someone that'll think that they could take on Dr. Greer in an arm wrestling match. Anyone out there, let me know. We got to talk about this. Yeah, so tried the 420 method, CE 420. And a little while later, this popped up. Let's see right there. Sweet. See two screens. I'm gonna let both of these screens run, or maybe you could see a screen and I get to see two screens. I don't know, but I'm gonna let it play. Let's see. Here we go. Right after the CE, little bit after, maybe hour or and it had been a while since we really captured anything. It hasn't been, I keep talking about it's been really slow. It's not like it once was, every morning I'd pull up to the shop and there would be like 2, 3, 4 objects sometimes just one, different colored ones, different shaped ones. Seen a really cool Instagram where this lady is talking about the CE5 method, and then also she named 9 different types of objects, and a lot of those are like the different objects we were, the jelly, you name it, the jellyfish, that one, and I was like, oh wow, girl, you're on it. And I was like, yep, I really like the video. Maybe we'll share that. I think, did I share a link to that? I might have posted it on my stories on Instagram. And so, yeah, it's a thing. And I want to get that little chart of the 9 different types of craft that she was mentioning. All right. How do we get out of here? Boom. And actually, I do have, Chris Jarvis was mentioning the orbs on the property and what happened to that. So we had moved out of there, Chris Jarvis. From there, we bounced around different parts of Humboldt before making Humboldt County before making the move to Southern Oregon. And then, a few years back, I made the move out here to start the business. So we still have ties up that way. And yeah, we got been getting even invites. So this guy, 707 Humbled, I mentioned him way earlier in the chat tonight, in the stream, and this guy was like, and you never know because we're talking about a few of the streams back, the crime up there and how dangerous it could be, but at the same time, it's very much paradise for a lot of people, and it's true. So this guy, Humble 707, we're chopping it up, feeling the vibe. And of course, it's online. It's like meeting someone online for dating. Very dangerous, I think. A lot of people do it, and of course, I'm not trying to date this dude. Who knows if he's really a dude? But no, he's a humble head. He told me he's there's certain things I was able to ask to identify if you're local. And here comes the train. All aboard. Yeah, so let's see if you could see this. He says, let's see, Bigfoot, if you ever want to visit, I got room, 20 acres in Shelter Cove Mountains. Yeehaw. I love those invites. And like we were talking the other night with Grantavius, he said, he's like, dude, you got a house here in this part of Southern Oregon. It's like, yeah. Maybe I got a spot with Diesel. Maybe I got a place in New Jersey. I don't know. I know I could crash over at She and Garrels. They probably got a little spot for me with the goats in the back. They'll put me in the barn. Why not? Yeah, so yeah, cool invite there. And I told him, dude, hit me up, get a hold of my channel. If not, I'm gonna track him down again, and I'm gonna take him up on that. Shelter Cove is so beautiful. Done some fishing out of there too, into the ocean. Go fish for salmon, rockfish, max out. You got fish for a long time. Yeah. So he was mentioning the orbs and stuff popping up there, Chris Jarvis, and I do have something really quick to share from there. And this is for those that, of course, have not seen, maybe new to the channel. And this is out our. It was weird. It was a deck that pretty much almost wrapped around the whole house, so you could stand and view different parts of the land there. And in certain areas, let's see. Oh, okay. So we didn't queue that up. Well, there's a bunch of live streams and videos posted of these orbs. It's not gonna happen tonight. I'll have to dig a little further to queue it up, but it's all good. Let's see. We've shared many video clips of it. And if I have enough energy, maybe we'll pull it up in a bit. But other than that, I do have several live cams. So we'll do some, what are we calling it? Armchair squatching and traveling. And it's at the same time also sky watching, because some of these live feed cams will give you views of the sky as well. So, and it all depends. And I've been finding a lot more very interesting ones. And we'll take a peek and see what's going on out in the world in a minute. Just want to make sure, yeah, I covered all the Bigfoot stuff there. This is, again, it's kind of random. We just started with the breaking news, the speed chase happening, and I'm just like, oh, well, you might as well share what you were going to try and share later. So we're just popping it off here, y'all. Y'all just kick back. If you got to go to bed, take a nap in the chat, leave the stream running. Just kidding. Yeah, grab a snack, grab your pets, grab a smoke, take a toke, do what you do. You got a spare ride on? Yeah, see what I'm talking about? And that's how it is, man. Mi casa es tu casa. Yeah, I don't have much space here. Of course, I'm under my sister's place. It's a cool spot. It's the boys' gaming room. But we can make it happen. If you're ever in LA, let me know. Heck, if need be, we'll open up the shop. If it's like, a crew of people, y'all just drop into LA and want to, check in with the dwarf, maybe spend a few nights or whatever. And if it's, we'll open up, we'll make it happen. Yeah, we'll open up the shop. Y'all can crash there. Oh man, any plans this summer? Anyone planning? I was hearing that some sort of report about a lot of Americans not planning for this summer, and I believe it. Totally get it, but I'm like, dude, that got to do something this summer, please. I need some woods. I'll take some desert. No, not during the summer. I'm good on that. I would head out towards the desert areas. Why not? While it's bacon. Turn into bacon. All right. So the planes accidents happening. A big one right now making probably I think it's making international news. And I heard it was I believe a Cessna. Was it C550 model? And San Diego, California, crashed into a neighborhood. And a lot of you are probably aware that San Diego has a big military community. And it crashed into, I guess, several houses. I was hearing about the fog being an issue last night. There's no confirmation on what caused anything yet. But I was hearing about the fog being pretty thick last night. Also, they showed some footage of it. And it looked like, I don't know, there were some pretty tall lights. And I don't know if those lights are for the airplanes. And it looks like it hit some lights. It looked like stadium lights or something like that. But unfortunate accident. And, big investigation. And also there were mentioning last that it was a drummer, so possibly a musician, a drummer and his manager, something like that. So no word yet on who it may be, but possibly someone, a musician. So maybe someone everyone knows. So prayers out. And there was 2 fatalities and I believe 6 others injured and a pretty bad mess. I did find, look, we'll pull up that article here. Let's go ahead and rewind that. Take me off of there. Get a little volume. So heads up, we're going to listen to this newsreel.
We begin right now with that deadly plane crash in San Diego. Police saying at least 2 people were killed and 8 others injured on the ground. The FAA now confirming 6 people were on board that plane. Just within the last hour, a music talent agency confirmed 3.
So a music talent agency confirmed
of its employees died in the crash, including the group's co-founder.
Sound Talent Group says co-founder Dave Shapiro was killed when the private plane went down early this morning. He is listed as the owner of the plane and does have a pilot license.
Anyone familiar with that name? Or the agency?
The group did not identify the other 2 employees killed. Now, the crash happened in San Diego's Tierra Santa neighborhood, just a few miles from the Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport, where that plane was due to land. Over 100 people have now been displaced because of the crash.
Eyewitness News reporter Jessica DeNova is in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so still no word on who it may have been. And then just to give you a little view of some of the aerial shots taken by, let me see. It's not it. Here we go. So this is ABC 10 News. You can see the house there. And some of the destruction went further down the block. Is pretty wild. Yeah, and so we bring up this because we've been paying attention to a lot of the airplane situations, the helicopters and stuff, and being into like sky watching. And then by the shop, outside of the shop, it's like the planes fly over directly. It's like a flight path there. So we get a lot of plane movement, a lot of even helicopters, all types of stuff. And then the military, of course, tends to fly right by the shop. So, we're always looking at the airplanes and really been paying attention to a lot of the aircraft going by, and also the incidences happening. LAX having quite a bit. We've been, reporting them. And even last night, there was 2 reports. One was out of LAX, I believe, but both having to do with Hawaii. Not sure if anyone caught those, but we'll take a look in a minute and have a listen. And yeah, very, very, I don't know, odd. I think one was going from LAX to Hawaii, one of the Hawaiian islands, and then the other plane incident, and both yesterday. In one plane incident, I don't know if it was maybe out of San Diego, and it was going from Hawaii to San Diego or something like that. We'll find out in a minute, but yeah, pretty bad stuff here. And again, keeping an eye out. Who was it? Recently was a famous golfer who had his windshield of his plane broken, and I believe he was going out of LAX. And then also, earlier this year, there was also a musician. They were out of Arizona. 2 musicians. One of their private jets crashed into another musician's, I guess, private jet or airplane. Who remembers that? That was recent, a few months back. Arizona. What up, Woo Reezy? We got Woo Riders in La Casa. And so, yeah, I did want to cover that. And we'll have a look here. Let's pull up this Hawaii airplane incidences. There's another YouTube channel I'll share here in a minute while we're talking airplanes also. Let's see. Here we go. Put a little volume.
Breaking news, United Airlines says a message written on a bathroom mirror caused the crew of an LAX-bound flight to turn around and return to Honolulu overnight. The FAA says that United Flight 1160.
All right, so catch that one. That's one.
69 returned to the Honolulu airport around 1:35 a.m. Hawaii time. The airline did not reveal the content of that message, only calling it, quote, a potential security concern, end quote. And so far, there's no indication that it is connected to a separate incident yesterday in San Diego, where a man was arrested after reportedly making a false bomb threat aboard a Honolulu-bound Hawaiian Airlines flight.
So it was San Diego. Pretty trippy. And then you have this situation in San Diego with this plane going down. I don't know. Just weird little things, connections that my mind makes when I hear, and not to say that anything's like tied, but a couple serious plane incidences out of San Diego both have, let's see, and then one out of LAX, and then those two having to do with Hawaii. I don't know. And there's Ninja Dave. Let's see. MK Davis is really smart, very intelligent. I got to have lunch with him last year. All right. What'd you guys have for lunch, Ninja Dave? What is MK like? Is he like I would think he would like some good barbecue. He is from down south, right? Gotta give that man some good barbecue. That's super cool, Ninja Dave. Is Ninja on slows? He needs to scroll down. He's way back in the chat. Maybe he was still checking out the chase with the charger. What else we got going on? Let's see what's popping with these cameras, y'all. Let's do some randomness. Let's go armchair squadron. Why not? I'm not in the woods now, so I might as well do the next best thing. Yeah, we got some cameras here. So we got what? North Tahoe Public Utility District website. And here's a Tahoe Vista recreation area. Let's check out. During the daytime is epically beautiful, of course, but this is a nighttime view. Why not? So we're up in Lake Tahoe, y'all. Might see some strange lights floating by. I'm sure Tahoe gets UFO reports. Big body of water there with possible they say tunnels or something connecting to somewhere else. How does Tahoe Nessie Tessie get in and out of Lake Tahoe? Yeah, anyone familiar with Lake Tahoe's lake monster? Yeah, I talked about we've been, I want to say maybe a couple times to Tahoe. Seemed like twice. Maybe it was one experience, but seems like two. I don't know. Kind of foggy. It was a trippy one. I love it though. Love Tahoe. Had a lot of fun there. And of course, yeah, did look for Tahoe Tessie. Didn't find much. It was hard to see. It was that night. Yeah, we were talking about that night that they found the missing hiker from the Sierras. She had to wear shades during her what was it, the press conference. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I could imagine. had that happen because not being from the snow, maybe people who are from the snow are used to it, probably don't even need shades. But yeah, Tahoe, I needed shades bad. It was hard to see. It was so white with snow. And cool, this camera here zips around also. I like that. The panning and the zooming. Cool stuff. And this is a view from the Tahoe Vista recreation area. Here you get some, looks like, whoa, see that? Got objects zipping by there. Bug on fire. But this camera seems to be pointed more at it's like some possible houses or maybe some hotels or some resorts. I don't know, but looks like a little street traffic going by there too. Super cool view. I like that too. You never know. Bigfoot could be walking through the streets there. Tahoe's got its fair share of reports and sightings. Part of the Sierras as well. Come on now. And there's been several videos, Bigfoot videos that come out of Tahoe. We'll have to do Tahoe night. Anyone been to Tahoe? Got any Tahoe experiences? I want to hear it. And boom. Got to put the hotline out there just in case anyone wants to drop a dime. Hey, I'll listen. And there's the email. Yep, at Yahoo. And then what else we got? Let's see. Let's pull some other cams up really quick. Make sure I stop those. Boom. Thank you, Tahoe. See you later. See where we cruise to next. All right, we're gonna shoot on over to this is the Big Bear up at the summit, so not the lake. What are we? It says 11:14 there. Yep. And this is up on the summit here, Southern California, Big Bear area. Touched about whoa, what was that flash there? Look at that. We got a dinosaur sighting here. We have dinosaur sighting. It looks like a raptor to me. Timestamp that. What was I going to say? That kind of threw me off there. Yes, we had a raptor sighting, folks. Awesome. See, this is why we do this. You never know what's going to pop up. It might be a Bigfoot right in front of the camera. You never know. Or it might be a raptor. It might be a little orb zipping by. Put that out there again. Drop me an email. There goes the raptor again. Yeah, keep an eye out for anything else moving. This is getting weird, folks. And whose truck is that? Yeah, any strange reports, Bigfoot reports, especially out of the Emerald Triangle. If you're up in Northern California, Southern Oregon, and of course anywhere else, we definitely want to hear what you're experiencing, what you're seeing. Do you have videos, photos, pics? Or maybe you find anomalies in other people's videos, or look at that. What was that? A plane? Chopper. A chopper going by there or something. Yeah, we're totally interested. And if you've had experiences, you want to talk about it. Yeah, hit me up. We could get something going. I'm still trying to pressure some of my friends online to hop on over here with me and maybe chop it up a little bit. Maybe I'm missing out in chat. Someone's like, hey, drop a link. Drop a link. You drop a link. Drop a link to your channel. All right, let's head on over somewhere else. Let's see. I want to cruise over to a little further up. I'm going to keep it West Coast thus far. What else we got? Mm-hmm. What about Big Sur? Anyone been to Big Sur? Big Sur, California. Anyone familiar with Big Sur? Actually, this camera is a nice one too. It's pointed at the beach. It's pointed at the ocean. Of course, you can't see anything, but still, this is good. You know, there's a lot of reports of USOs and stuff like that. Had something fly by there now. Identify that. So ideally during the day it'd be good, but here we are at night. You never know what may rise out of the ocean there. It's like the bugs are active. Yeah, Big Sur, California. Been there once. Spent a couple days there. And at the time, I wasn't really big into Bigfooting, but that's another great spot for strange and weird. I've shared some of my friends' weird encounters in Big Bear. Yeah, one of my buddies, little Filipino guy, and he got chased on his motorcycle by something weird. He said the strangest thing. It wasn't a Bigfoot, but it was a weird creature. And maybe one day I'll try to record him or something, because I don't think he wouldn't show his. He's not even online, which surprises me. But yeah, he shared that experience, and very odd. There was some weird, strange missing persons cases out of Big Sur as well, and the surrounding area. But yeah, this is the Big Sur cam. We'll have to check this out. We're going to be doing this during the daytime too, so you all could really enjoy the eye candy. Juliana, you should get a cam up in the barn going, a live stream cam, just like Jane and Gerald do. That'd be super cool. But I know Humboldt heads, especially, Emerald Triangle heads, are very private. We're blessed to even have Juliana online. I'm surprised she's online. And that's why for a long time, I wouldn't show my face on video, or I wouldn't do videos. Like, eventually I slowly had to start doing it and feeling like, all right, yeah, I guess we could show this or talk about that. And now I'm just like, all right, let's get into it. But yeah, a lot of people are very private up there, and I get it. Probably in other places too. Any plans for the weekend, anyone? Big shout out to my sister, my niece. I've been talking about my niece lately. She's been cooking all types of different things, baking, pickling, jarring, and stuff. A lot of stuff made from scratch. And yeah, they've been inviting me. Like tonight, they're like, come on over. We got din din for you. I was like, sweet. Let's go. So I went and scooped up a little grub. Actually, sister came through last night as well. Delivered, DoorDashed me some grub. So much love to them. And of course, to you all as well. Yeah, I love you all. Much love to everyone out there. As I pull up the next camera, let's see. There's another. I mean, we could go way up. I got stuff all the way up to Mount Hood and Mount Rainier. We got to keep an eye out, make sure no other chases pop off on us. I see LA Captain is on. And LA Captain, so I've been talking about because, a lot of these stringers use, what is it? Scanners. And so LA Captain is basically like a scanner YouTube channel. So we'll share this out. So anytime we need a scanner, he covers LA. And we'll show his channel there. Let's see. Yeah, subscribe to the Captain if you're trying to hear some madness. But yeah, I'd like to get used to listening to the scanner more. Some of it's very difficult to.
77, second call false, cancel.
Like they got their own language, or sometimes you talk a certain way.
Makes it a little difficult to understand. Roger that.
Then Fulham.
Metro Engine 10, we're going to attach LAPD for a tow for this burned out abandoned vehicle. It's going to be a white Range Rover. Address is going to be 809 East 17th Street. Engine 10, roger.
All right, so that's LA Captain there. That's our little YouTube scanner. Yeah. I'm about ready for another sesh here. How about y'all? Did Hillbilly Herb pop in here? Because he always brings the fire. Of course, we've been hitting Yosemite lately. Let's hit up Yosemite really quick, folks, before we head on out of here. Yeah, so again, I'm interested in talking to you. Hit me up. I'm not that hard to get a hold of. And let's chop it up. Let's show some of your pictures. Let's talk about some of your experiences. Let's examine some of your videos. And Laura says, let's see, Humboldt County, some of our family used to live there and grew back in the day. Now we grow here in Calaveras. Oh, you're up in Calaveras. Amador. Yeah, we're talking about the Sierras. We've been talking about the Sierras quite a bit around here. Much love and respect to you all out there doing the thing. Yeah, Sacramento. What up? Oh, actually, we got to check in with AXN Stringer. We've been talking about stringers a lot here, and those are the guys that go out and give us the action for the night. And there's a stringer out of Sacramento. There's a few that are on tonight out of Bakersfield. But there's one particular guy I found out of Sacramento, so we could see what's popping off in Sacktown. Yes. But again, this is Squatch Watch and Skywatch. I mean, who wouldn't love it? Just a massive Sasquatch were to walk by the screen right now. It's very possible. This is their woods there, folks. So keep them eyes peeled. And Juliana's got to breathe. Breathe, girl. Oh. All right. So Stringers. Let's pop in with AXN now that he's back on. The other night he kind of cut the live stream. Was a little worried about him. It's like, bro, what happened to you? Yeah, this is another good YouTube channel I've been watching because we do Skywatch. We're talking about the planes and keeping an eye on the skies and everything. And I have noticed some of the objects we do capture, the little UFO, UAPs, fast movers and stuff, are popping up in these feeds also here. So this one's a 24-hour live cameras, Hotel Los Angeles. So this is by the air. This is at LAX, I'm sure. At the airport, and these cameras record all the different flights, and sometimes like the guy who runs this channel will be there like a sportscaster and giving you the play-by-play of landings and takeoffs of planes. And I've noticed there's another channel, so this is a thing. I was like, whoa, I didn't know people did this. But this is a hotel view or hotel cameras, I guess, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, you'll notice these objects. And, LAX has gotten a lot of UFO activity around the airport, as well as other airports in the nation. But yeah, we had what was it, Jetpack Man moving packs. Remember we made we made a song, folks. Who remembers the report of the Jetpack anomaly or UFO or being that was floating around LAX, and he's been captured several times, I think, at least twice for sure. And so yeah, how'd the song go? Jetpack Man, Jetpack Man at Lax moving packs. And there's a little more to it. Oh yeah. What's Candy saying? And Juliana's got a lot of family that feeds the beast. What is that? What she's saying? Let's see. What? I didn't get that. Oh, gotta love the family that feeds the beast. 100. Got it. I'm probably way behind in the chat there. Let's see. Scroll on down. So yeah, another cool channel to check out if you like checking out airplanes or looking for these fast movers. We've also, recommended to folks that want to capture maybe some anomalies is to focus on objects that are flying by, like airplanes, helicopters, anything, balloon, birds, and then check your video after that. You might have something there. So this dude's channel is, let's see, airline videos. Boom, boom, boom. And this is runway. Let's see, 20. So it's the 24/7 LAX airport action runways 24L and 24R. So 24, 24, 24. Here's the Hyatt. All right, let's dip on out. I popped that one up because it was conveniently there. Why not? Usually I have a lot of different cams to show or channels and stuff, and I'll just end up showing maybe a small portion of them. And I'm like, darn, I didn't show this one or that one. Well, we're showing them tonight, folks. Yeah. And I haven't been popping on the Google Earth lately. There's several situations where I could have used the Google Earth. It's all good. All right, we'll take a look at Mount Shasta really quick, see what popped off there today, and of course Crater Lake. And this is actually Medio Blue there. And they do these what is it? Time lapses. Nice and blurry there. Mount Shasta. Let's see. It's nighttime. There we go. I could hear the Tibetan singing bowls. Shasta. And we did report on some fires happening, even though with snow on the mountain. I know the snow is on higher elevation, but yeah, some fires burning out towards Shasta, in the Shasta area. And Juliana was telling us also some other little spot fires happening here and there around Northern California. And yeah, things are heating up out here. There's been several little fires here and there as well. Kind of scary to think. And also, speaking of fires, they just reopened the Pacific Palisades PCH Highway 1 in the Palisades area. I guess they had opened it, reclosed it. That the huge fire that happened earlier this year there. Whoops, boom. And then let's we got to check up on Crater Lake. It is our duty. And this is what I do when I'm not live also. So I'm just bringing you along on my evening here. Yeah, no, it's torture. I do feel like I'm torturing some of you. And I don't apologize, but maybe some of you will get used to it. Let's see. Boom, here's our Crater Lake cam. I'm skipping a few already, too. I'm skipping the SoCal ones, sparing you the Southern California. Although we did do Big Bear, but, we'd like to check out Mount Wilson. And the Mount Wilson cam, I could see from out here. Like, I could walk down the block and look up towards the mountains, and I could see the antennas, and that's where I'm positive that's where the camera is. Because sometimes the camera points at the antennas. So I'm like, that's where that camera is. So it's cool to be able to see that from down here. And then here we got, let's see what's popping off Crater Lake today. Dang it. Yeah, it's been really cold up that way, I bet. Sometimes the camera will get all fogged up. But look, no, there's some nice views there. And as always, checking for anomalies. Sweet. Yeah, I like that the old what do you call that? Time lapse. So we'll check in with AXN News here really quick just to see what's popping in the city. And we'll wrap this burrito up. And excuse me for not following in the chat there. As always, I say if there's something really important that you're trying to get to me, a comment or a message or something, drop it in the comments or hit up that email. There's many ways to get a hold of me. And I do want to hear what you have to say again. Yeah. All right, let's find a YouTube here. We'll pull up AXN really quick. Won't be taking much more of your time here.
Vehicle 9034.
Preferably with a
Turn that down.
gray or black interior.
So he's not at a scene. We won't watch
They
this
have
for
really
long.
bad colors. The gray
Just cruise on down a little bit. Let's check to see where we're at. What's that? Real
I
local?
always dislike the interior colors.
We won't have crazy chicken in their area.
The all red one actually looks kind of cool. But there was kind of like a burgundy one, beige, blue.
That guy's out jogging. It's almost midnight. Maybe he's running from something. Yeah, I have no idea where we're at here. Grab YSC. King Taco on the left. If you ever come to LA, I would recommend you. That's more of the commercial. Big chain,
like 84 to 87.
But they got their flavor down. So if you're to come to LA and you're wondering where to get it, I would start at King Taco. Be careful with the street tacos, folks, especially these days. And I mean the ones you get on the street. Even restaurants. I'm not trusting restaurants or anything these days. Markets.
I like the gray
Is
interior.
food even real anymore?
I had an El Camino with the blue,
Survive
blue interior.
Juliana, go out
I
there
didn't
and
like
start
it.
hunting stuff.
Farm
going. I'm not trusting anything out there.
The dash, the seats, the door panel, everything's the exact same color.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll keep an eye out on AXN. Anything explosive jumps off, I'll be sure to inform you all. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up here. Look at that, hour and 45 minutes. Not too bad. I could keep on rambling. I still got a whole other night for let's see, Emerald Triangle. Got more cases up there. There's for instance, we've talked about Robert Durst. Yeah, the serial killer actually lived in Trinidad. And they were trying to pin
El Caminos, I don't like those.
Possible missing persons cases, like some
I like the latest
ones,
ones,
missing in
87.
the area. We have had some
It doesn't have to be a
interactions or
super
connections to Robert Durst when he was in the area. And there's another case that I recently read out of Humboldt County, and it reminds me of another one that we also featured that was recently
Because I seen some dude in the El Camino. It wasn't even a super sport. And it was restored. It was really, it was pretty nice. But
it was some remains found on Clam Beach, and I showed
I did one in like
an area where I actually found a lot of beach structures.
Oh, here goes the Range Rover.
These remains were found there, and they believe some of the remains that were found may have belonged to some native people that were in the area or from
TikTokers are still here, bro.
So findings
95, that's
may have something to do with
Still here
some of the
reporting on
indigenous
the
peoples from the area.
burnt core.
It's not confirmed,
511.
but it was interesting that they found that.
Maybe they're gonna wait around till the cops show
Also,
up.
511,
I know the
cancel
area pretty
incident
well.
5036, cancel
A little
by
further north
FD, no
is
overdose,
Trinidad,
incident
and
5036.
I saw that they had found some remains
All
there
Caminos considered
recently
cars
as
now.
well.
Getting in and out of vehicles on
They're
the
kind of
So
considered
they're
like
tying
unicorns.
that to
It's just a
possibly like a
magical ride.
domestic thing. But what was interesting is that these people lived in a little further, I think, inland, not
They're
on the
getting
coast,
pricey, bro.
but yet this partial remains, it was like a lady's skull or something like that. And this is like a case from the 80s or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of TikTok
But it was a
streamers,
couple years before Robert Durst moved into the area. So I was just kind of, whoa. I wonder these timelines. I was like kind of looking into it. And watch really quick, I'll show you. And if Juliana, if you're listening, you probably heard about these findings, or anyone else in the area, if you pay attention to North Coast news like that. But I think this one's it. Let's see. Yep. So this is Durst, Robert Durst. And there's a whole thing. There's a Netflix, I think, or there's some documentaries on this dude. And so who knows how many other victims he had, and he was in different states, and actually he was I think into real estate as well, which is kind of creepy. Like got access to properties and stuff like that. I don't know. Makes me wonder about stuff, but yeah, rich dude, well off. His dad was like a sort of, I think he owned properties in New York or something like that. Big money. Um, And the other, let's see, the findings of those remains, because so Robert lived in Trinidad, but they said it was 2 years after they found these remains there. Maybe did Robert live in anywhere else in Humboldt before he moved to Trinidad? I wonder. Let's see, find that. Okay, here we go. So this may be it here. So this is Fox 56, mysterious human skull found 32 years ago on California beach identified. So yeah, I think this is it here. Make sure you can see that headline there, Fox 56. There's the headline. And let me see if I can stop this YouTube video real quick. Where'd you go, YouTube? Weird, I can't find it. Anyway, I'll just keep the volume down here. And so here, yeah, briefly, let's see. Just read some of this. A forensic genetic genealogy team has uncovered a mystery behind a partial human skull found 32 years ago on a beach in Northern California. The woman's skull was spotted near Trinidad Head, a rocky structure in Trinidad Harbor, in 1993. At the time, a traditional DNA profile was developed and entered into the National Unidentified Person DNA Index, and no match was made. In 2024, the Humboldt County Sheriff Office submitted evidence to Othram's laboratory in Texas, hoping that advanced DNA testing could identify the woman. Othram scientists developed a DNA extract from the skeletal evidence and used forensic-grade genome sequencing to build a new DNA profile for the unknown woman. Several months later, Othram provided HCSO, Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, with new leads. Investigators used this report to launch a follow-up investigation and locate a potential relative. The California Department of Justice compared the relative's DNA profile to the DNA profile developed from the skull, which confirmed that the skull belonged to K. Josephine Medine. DNASolves.com, a website affiliated with Othram Incorporated, wrote Monday. Kay Medine also went by the name Kay Adams. She was reported missing in August 1987 after she vanished from her home in Trinity County. Medine worked as a school teacher in High Palm, and her boss said she was in good spirits the last time he saw her. And High Palm also comes rings a bell for me. It comes to mind because of a case we covered of this man who went missing off of a property there. They only found footprints leading up to a pond, a little body of water on the property, and that was it. No other signs of him. And actually, that lady, I got in touch with her at the time and helped her. It was the guy's sister helped her pass out flyers for that particular case there. And even to this day, there's no word on what may have happened to him. Pretty strange. Anytime I see Hayam Palm, I think of him. And here's a little more in that case. There's other articles that go deeper into the case. There's a nice view of Trinidad there. And again, I've lived in Trinidad, had my second Bigfoot sighting, leaving the town of Trinidad. Mention that. I'll keep mentioning that and every time Trinidad comes up. And yes, I've been to Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, I'm on. Love it there too. Anytime I hear Trinidad is what I think of Trinidad, California, and uh, Trinidad, the island. Both very beautiful places. Love both of them. Yeah, just a little something I've been digging into there, along with some other cases I didn't finish sharing that night. So we'll put this together and go down the rabbit hole again on some of these Emerald Triangle cases. And what else did I see popping out of the Emerald Triangle? Seen a missing person, recent missing person who was missing out of the hospital there, out of Eureka. And I'm trying to think of if there was anything else I had seen that was like, hey. So again, check out that interview, Squatch and Holler, MK Davis. Much respect to them gentlemen. Amanda, co-host as well, who does a great job. Squatch and Holler. Lucky to have her. And what else? Let's see. We got the shop opening up tomorrow, regular schedule. Monday, holiday. So I'm thinking we might be taking that off. Just a heads up to anyone, maybe stopping by or maybe wanting to stop by. And yeah, we appreciate your business. Things have been not too bad. We're still open, plugging away. Having events going on at the asylum, which is a facility next door. Still can't get my shirts printed. All the guys are busy there pressing uh, other stuff for other people. So I gotta wait in line. And eventually we'll get the shop going here on the YouTube channel. We'll have some cool prints made of some stuff. I should be pushing myself to do that, but in time, we'll get that going. And let's see, anyone else pop in the chat. I am Palm. One of my best dogs going on 11 is a High and Palm special. I call him Shepherd, Healer, and Dingo. Wow, super cool. Yeah, I told you there was a batch of these. 'Cause I love the Great Pyrenees because in Honeydew I lived with one there. The landowner had one, all white, super cool dog, and so I fell in love with him. And that dog came from a litter that was, well known, so I ended up meeting other people throughout the county, and they had Pyrenees dogs, and they were brothers and sisters of the dog that I lived with, and I was like, "Oh, I want I want I want one of those," but, it never happened. Um, one day it will. But I do have my little, lab pit. She's getting old. Haven't seen her in a long time. Miss her so much. Gotta check in on her. She's a total hill dog, loves people, loves kids, doesn't like other dogs for some weird reason. But, she's a sweetheart. But, yeah, no, I can't wait to it'd be fun to have a little puppy again. Um, yeah, I miss my cats too. Haven't seen or heard from them. Hopefully, they're alright. You know, I have twins. They're twin sisters, and, they have they're what is it? Polydactyl? They got the little exposable thumb. That's what they call it, right? Super cool kitties. Saliman, what up? Hey, super trippy, Instagram you posted the other day, bro. Getting really good producing stuff. That was a really wild one there. And, your other stuff has always been good, but that was on another level. So I don't know if you're using a new program, some new AI stuff or what, but it was wicked. And yeah, man, all is good for now, just rolling with the ebb and flow of life, bro. And we hit those pits sometimes, and we rise up to those peaks sometimes, and you know how it goes. Do the little dance, surfing and shredding those silver surfing and shredding those, waves of life. Yeah, glad you stepped in, Taliban. We're about to head out here, hitting the 2 about 15 minutes ago, we're like, "Alright, we're hitting the hour and 45-minute mark," and, of course, kept chopping it. Yeah, I love chopping it, I can keep going, but, yeah, no, let's, get a little bite to eat, grab a little smoky poo, light it up, and maybe someone else will go live will go and, hang out with you. You know how we do. We love to support. Alright, y'all, we're gonna wrap this one up. Boom, let's see if we can hit our outros. Let's get a little music going while we wait. Oh, yeah, no, still got the let's see. Oh, yeah.